May 15th, 2019, Juventus Champions League quarterfinal. Your team is trailing 1-2 against Ajax. In the dying minutes, you score with a header, then you score another, and just like that, Juventus advances to the next round. After sending the ball into the back of the net, you look at the stands, then you look at your biceps, and you do that famous move. You open your arms wide to the sides and pull them down. That move spreads across the entire world like a virus. Everywhere, anyone who loves Ronaldo has it memorized, ready to do it at any moment. But our story doesn't begin here at Juventus. Our real story begins in Madeira with a 12-year-old boy whose heart stopped. If you truly love Ronaldo, leave a heart for him in the comments. Funchal, Madeira, 1985. Everything started in 1985 on a small island that belongs to Portugal but sits far away from it in a very modest home. Life there was quiet, but so was the poverty. Your father, Jose Dini, worked as a gardener. He was also the equipment supervisor for the municipality. Your mother, Maria Dolores, was a cleaner and a cook. Your home is a small house and there are 4 children in the family. You are the 4th and youngest of the children. Your family was so poor that even dinner was considered a luxury, but your world was so full of big dreams that you filled the empty spaces in your head with a ball. There was also another problem. Your father drank a little too much. Every night he drank. As you grew older, you felt like you were losing him, but he truly loved you, even when he was in a terrible state himself. Your father gave you your first ball. He also gave you your name, Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro. The Ronaldo part came from Ronald Reagan, your father's favorite actor, 9 years old. Your biggest passion was playing football on the street with your friends. If you didn't have a ball, you'd make a ball out of rolled-up socks or kick empty tin cans at makeshift goals. You never really liked school because sitting idle in class bored you to death. You were much happier out on the street kicking a ball around. Your family would tell you, leave that ball alone and focus on your studies. But your eyes were always on the stars. With all your heart, you believed that one day you would become the best footballer in the world. You grow a little older and join Andorinha's Youth Academy, a small club for you. But on the pitch, you are anything but small. On the pitch, you run a lot. You run faster than the others too. You work harder than everyone else. After every training session, you're always one of the last to leave. Your coach says this: the other kids run straight home as soon as practice ends. Cristiano takes the ball and stays on the pitch alone, training by himself. For you, this wasn't a habit. It was a necessity, because you understood very early on that football was your only way out of that island. 12 years old, heart surgery. At 12, your life changed completely. Sporting CP called you for trials. You had to go from Madeira to Lisbon. Going to Lisbon felt like going to the moon for you. Your mother put you on the bus as you left. You took a few clothes and your old ball, traveling from a tiny island to a big city. Difficult days began when you arrived in Lisbon. The other kids there made fun of you, calling you Island Boy. But you said nothing to them and kept working on yourself. Every evening you repeated to yourself, I will make it. I'll show them. But soon something went wrong. When you turned 13, your heartbeat started to become irregular, tachycardia. The doctor said you had to have surgery immediately. At 13, you lie down on the operating table. The doctors operate on your heart. You spend a few days in the hospital, then you recover and get back up. When the doctor said, you can play again, you ran straight to the pitch that day and practiced shooting until morning. Years later, you would say, no one ever stopped me. And even after the surgery, my only thought was the ball. Sporting CP, Lisbon. At the academy, everyone slowly started to notice you, but they all said the same thing. Too skinny, too flashy, too selfish. Because of your Madeiran accent, the other kids made fun of you, so you sat alone in the cafeteria. In the first few months, you cried every night. You missed your mother, you missed the island, but you woke up early every morning and trained alone. Every morning, you were the first to arrive at training. Every evening, you were the last to leave. You truly started to shine at sporting. At 17, you stepped onto the pitch with your team. On the field, you danced, completely at one with the ball. You were so fast that opponents had no way to stop you. One day, Sporting played a friendly match against the world-famous Manchester Manchester United. You were so brilliant in that match that United's legendary manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, turned to his assistant and said, "Get this kid now or someone else will." 2003, Old Trafford. You are 18 years old. Sir Alex Ferguson transfers you to Manchester for $12.24 million. On your first day, you walk into the dressing room. Roy Keane, Ruud van Nistelrooy, and Ryan Giggs are there, and you, 18 years old, unable to speak English with a Madeiran accent, you step onto the pitch wearing the number 7 shirt, the shirt of George Best, Eric Cantona, and David Beckham. Years later, you would say, "I felt the weight of that shirt, and that weight made me work even harder." Manchester United, the rise, 2004-05. 2005-06. Every season you play better, stronger, nastier than the one before. But the 2006-07 season changes everything for you. You win the Premier League with your team. You are named PFA Player of the Year, FWA Player of the Year, 2007-08, Champions League Final, Moscow. Your opponent is Chelsea. Rain pours down non-stop on the pitch. The match ends in a draw after 90 minutes, and now you're heading to penalties. Tevez scores, Carrick scores, your turn comes, and you miss. Petr Cech saves your penalty, but John Terry slips on the wet pitch, and United win. You are a Champions League winner. You win the Ballon d'Or. You become one of the youngest to ever win it. Years later, speaking about that missed penalty in Moscow, you would say, "I cried that night, but my team won. And that was more important than anything." 2009, Real Madrid. Manchester was no longer enough for you. You wanted more. An offer came from Real Madrid. You accepted without hesitation. Perez transferred you to Real Madrid for $94 million, a world record at the time. Madrid invited the fans to your presentation day. 80,000 people came to Bernabeu to welcome you. And here, everything changes for you. Madrid transforms you into a completely different person. You are no longer just a fast winger. Now you are competing to become the highest goal scorer in football history. After arriving here, you also had a rival in this league. You always had a rival, Messi, and that rivalry. Two players described as coming from different planets. Your rival, Messi, was one of those players who was small, intuitive, and naturally gifted. You, on the other hand, were taller, athletic, and disciplined. Messi played like a footballer created by God. You rose to God's level through human will. In 2011 and 2012, Messi won the Ballon d'Or. In 2013, you won it by breaking La Liga's record with 50 goals. In 2014, Messi won again. From 2015 to 2016 to 2017, you won consecutively. You won 5 Ballon d'Ors. Your rival Messi also had 5, but the numbers go far beyond that. In 9 seasons at Real Madrid, you scored 450 goals. You became one of the top goal scorers in Champions League history. You became Portugal's all-time top scorer, and you became the world's all-time top scorer as well. One day in an interview, you would say about Messi, "He's a good player." Only those 2 words. That shows how deep the rivalry had gone. 2016, Portugal, European Championship victory. You carry the biggest wound of your career, the national team. Throughout your career, you have never won a World Cup. You never won a Euro either. At every major tournament, Portugal is eliminated early, and the blame always falls on you. 2016 Euro final. Your opponent is France. In the 25th minute, you get injured. You can't hold back your tears as you leave the pitch, but you stand on the touchline. You shout at your teammates. You direct them from the sideline. In extra time, Eder scores such a beautiful goal that the French goalkeeper can do nothing. With that goal, Portugal becomes champions, and you, despite your injury, go up to the stands and celebrate the championship with your team. That day, in an interview, you would say, "This meant more to me than anything. I play for Portugal. I will always play for Portugal." Juventus, the Champions League dream. Problems start to arise in Madrid. In 2018, Juventus signs you for $117 million. You are 33 years old. Everyone says says you're finished at this age, that you can no longer play. In your first season, you scored 28 goals against opposition nets and win Serie A. In your second season, you scored 31 goals, Serie A champion. In your third season, you scored 29 goals. But there was no Champions League. Juventus is eliminated early every year. Without a Champions League title, this career feels incomplete to you. In 2021, you returned to your old home, Manchester United, but unfortunately, everything had changed. The club had changed completely. The team had changed. You hadn't changed, but the whole world had. Then you give an interview, Piers Morgan. You say everything about Ericsson, about the club, about everything, openly and honestly. After that interview, your contract is terminated. Al Nassr. And one question. In 2023, you go to Al Nassr, a Saudi Arabian team. The whole world says you're old now, that you only went there for the money, that your career is over. But even there, you still score goals. You still break records non-stop. You still say, see you after every goal. 2024 Euro, you go with Portugal. You are 39 years old. In the quarterfinal against Slovenia, you miss a penalty. On the pitch, you cry because of that mistake. Your teammates surround you and support you. After that moment, your teammates win the penalties for you. In an interview, you would say, this moment was everything to me. I cried because I know what this shirt means. Your father, and farewell. In 2005, your father, Jose Diniz, passed away at 52 from liver failure. He was known as a man taken by alcohol. After receiving the news of your father's death, you still went out onto the pitch because that's what your father had taught you. Always keep going. Every time you score, you look up to the sky. That's how you remember your father. All of this is for him. 2026, the World Cup hosted by the United States, Mexico, and Canada. Can Portugal win it with you? If it were you, after having heart surgery at 12 years old, would you still step onto that pitch? Write your answers in the comments. I will read every single one. Also, don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss our new videos.